Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3. Today we're going to be going over our top 10 favorite Alien movies.
Actually, the top 10 best Alien movies of all time.
Yes. After today, everybody, the debate will be over. We'll know exactly in order the best top 10 Alien movies of all time.
No doubt.
Yeah. So we thought that it would be fun, at least this first time. We thought it would be fun to maybe start at the bottom and then work our way up, right? Start at 10, work our way up to the number 1. Now, for this episode, Jordan and I each took time to reflect on the different Alien movies that we've seen, and we each have our own top 10 list, and we're going to go, do you want to just kind of go back and forth?
Yeah, we'll just kind of jump back and forth. I think I should start because my list had 12, and so what?
That's not fair.
So I'm going to drop 2.
I had to cut mine.
And then we'll go 10 on.
I had to cut mine.
That sucks.
Okay, hold on.
I can cut those 2 out. I just felt bad for them. It's I just have to say, I had no idea how many Alien movies I've seen.
Oh my gosh, this was the hardest thing I've ever done.
And
I haven't had a very hard life.
Well, just how many Alien right? This is one of the more difficult parts of our lives.
Yeah. Being straight, male, and white, it's difficult on an individual. And these are the kind of social issues we have to face.
Yeah, it's awful. Feel bad for us, right? But what I was saying was, I didn't realize how many movies there were, and how many movies are so good all the way around. There are so many good Alien movies. It's insane.
Yeah. So, I want to start out with I had just a couple of things I wanted to start out with before we dive in. One was just a fun little quiz question. So I'll give the chat time to respond with their guesses. Don't Google it. It actually is kind of difficult to find because if you type in what's the highest grossing Alien movie of all time, it automatically goes to the Ridley Scott Alien movies.
Yeah.
So,
immediately.
It's like, here's the top of the 6 movies, right? So searching anything related to Alien movies, it always took you to Aliens, Alien versus Predator, like all the Scott films.
Yeah,
so.
I had that not issue because, I mean, I love those movies. So, but yeah, I had it did the same to me. Just real quick, Sexy Chicken 808.
Who's that? That's awesome name.
She said, Maui in the building. Let's go, Matt. So,
I think I know who that is. I think that's Austin. But
I don't know.
I don't know. Secret. Well, I don't know. But thank you, Austin.
Sexy Chicken 808. Thanks.
Okay. So here's for the chat. The first question. Don't Google it. What's the highest grossing Alien movie of all time? Let's see what you guys think. Jordan, what do you think? Highest grossing Alien movie of all time?
Oh man, I would personally say either like Close Encounters or Aliens. Aliens. For the second one.
What does the chat think? Are we getting anyone on there that's guessing what the highest grossing Alien movie is?
Nick Foles says it's definitely E.T.
Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Carsonian, E.T. Okay.
And you into Mike says E.T. as well. That's Dad.
That's our papa. That's our fascia.
Thanks, Dad.
It is E.T. You got shown up by the chat.
Yeah, that's okay.
E.T.
That's
yes,
okay.
the highest grossing film, Alien film of all time. And
I if guessed, actually, but I feel like
Aliens is pretty high. Aliens, and Close Encounters are all pretty high. But E.T. is, if you adjust for inflation, is the 6th highest grossing film of all time. So it was a big deal. People love their Reese's Pieces.
I did at one point. I don't like them anymore.
No, I go straight for the cup, man.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that was just the quick question I had at the start. And the other thing I thought would be kind of fun to go over is one of one of the movies that we'll be discussing today for sure at some point is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So I thought it'd be not funny, I just thought it'd be interesting to research the different kinds of encounters. So if that's the third kind, what's the first and the second? So I did a little research on that, and I found out that the UFO researcher J. Allen Hynek, I think is how you say his last name, he wrote a book called The UFO Experience, A Scientific Inquiry. And in there, he listed, I haven't read the book, this is just what I found online, he listed the different type of encounters that you could have with an alien species. And the first three are actually pretty well received in the scientific community. The first kind, second kind, and third kind. Like, it's a scale that people tend to turn to. But they've also added fourth kind and fifth kind, which aren't really that, at least in the scientific community, quotations, with aliens. The fourth and fifth kind are not considered part of the measuring scale. So, the first kind, you want to guess what it is?
No.
You're trying to look at my computer.
Yeah, I want to.
No. The first kind is a sighting of a UFO. So if you see a UFO, an object that you can't identify, it is a close encounter of the first kind. Second kind is some type of evidence, like if you have a video of a UFO, if there's like impressions on the ground or like a chemical trace, like a radar chemical trace or something like that, that's considered an encounter of the second kind. So the third kind is contact with an alien species. Fourth kind is abduction. So you were taken by the aliens. That is close encounter. That's a close encounter of the fourth kind. And the fifth kind, which is kind of like the realm of which I would consider like the Marvel universe is the fifth kind is human initiated contact with extraterrestrial life forms or advanced interstellar civilizations. So direct communication with aliens and humans. So if you could actually communicate with them and you know their language, that would be the fifth kind.
Okay.
No.
Carson said that the fourth kind, the 2009 ones, scared the crap out of him.
Oh, we're going to talk about that movie, Carson. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
That movie made me poop my pants. So
if I'm being honest, you guys are gonna hate me. I have not ever seen that.
I don't think a lot of people have seen that. It didn't
even pull up when I was searching for alien movies, though.
I don't think it would actually. I doubt it would pull up for alien movies because it really wasn't that popular. It's kind of low budget, but it is awesome. So Carson, we're gonna talk about that for sure today. All right, so let's get into our list. Jordan and I do not know what our lists are, so we're just going to start at 10. We're going to go back and forth. We may have some crossover between movies. I'm sure there will be one or two, and we'll just dive into why these are factually the best movies. So, all right, go ahead. Or do you want me to start first?
No, I'll delete my 12th and 11th and just throw them in at the end.
Yeah, you have to have a top 10.
I kind of figured that was going to happen.
You had to cut it out.
I threw in an 11 and 12th because
if we could, we
really
do our top. We do our top 50 alien movies.
Yeah. Top all of alien movies. All of them can just be there. Yeah. So my 10th is pretty new. It's The Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's I guess it's not crazy new, but that's the one with Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt.
Yeah, I thought the technology in it was awesome, and the look of the aliens were way cool.
Yeah, that movie was fantastic. I mean, I thought that movie was just brilliant. So I'm with you on that. I actually think Edge of Tomorrow did not make my cut, but it was super close. And honestly, it was in my honorable mentions. So I I love that movie, but I'll explain why as we go. Well, honestly, the way I got down to my top 10 is I felt like one of the best things for me to do to get my top 10 was I had to think of alien movies as like alien, I don't know, invasion movies kind of tend to be the ones that I liked more, kind of freaked me out more. And Edge of Tomorrow was, obviously it's an alien invasion, but it's a little bit more in the future where they're trying to fight against the aliens. So, well, it's kind of in the future. It's also kind of in the past. That movie's so good. I want to watch that movie again.
Way good.
Okay, so for my number 10 top alien movies, number 10 for me is probably one that not a lot of people know. It's Dark Skies. You know Dark Skies? It came out in...
I'm going to do so bad at your list.
It's okay. I should have had a little bit more about Dark Skies. I can't remember what year it came out in. It wasn't very well received. It had a decent Rotten Tomatoes score, but this one freaked me out. It has the girl off of August Rush in it, like the mom in August Rush. She's like the lead. I think her name's something Russell, like Carrie Russell or something like that. But super, super fantastic movie. So scary. Freaky aliens, they come and basically decide that this family of this nice little sweet family, they're going to take over this family's life, and they I won't give away too much because everyone should watch that movie, but yeah, basically the aliens start messing with them and they want to take the boy of the family away. So that's my number 10.
All right. I need to see it then.
Yeah,
sounds like
definitely.
My number 9 is Life.
Oh,
and
Life, really?
I love Ryan Reynolds. I'm a bit biased because of my man crush on Ryan Reynolds
and Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he is in it, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
It was a little bit ago when I watched it. I went on a kick before this kick of alien movies, and that one randomly popped up, and I had never heard of it, and I just threw it in there. I just thought like the concept was kind of cool, like that black blob, like.
So they come across some type of alien
substance.
Almost. Yeah, like weird goop, and then they start messing with it, and it kind of evolves. I don't know. Other than the commercial, the trailer, that's all I know. I
wish I did better individual research, and like I just wrote like stuff that I thought was cool about the movies. But
well, what do you think was cool about that one?
I just thought the aliens are cool. The alien was cool. It's cool to see the different outlooks on what people come up with, what aliens look like or what they could be. Because you could go anywhere with it.
Yeah, all up for interpretation.
And I think that's just impressive because you grow up with like this whatever image of aliens. Maybe for a lot of people, E.T. would be that image, or that like little round shaped head, like with the cone chin kind of alien that you see on like
the
green alien picture, green guy,
or the gray, depending.
And then to come up with your own, like that's impressive to me, anyways. So just to be so far fetched rather than just like going on that based.
I didn't even think of that movie, and I wanted to see it when I saw the trailer, and that's a good pick, man. I wonder if we end up having any in our top 10
of each other
of the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 9 is War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. So we've already had 2 Tom Cruise on this list. Now, I know the ending is a little bad in that one, but the first half of that movie is incredible. When the aliens first arrive and the aliens are shot down into the machines that were already buried on Earth, and the alien comes out of the machine. Well, the machine comes up, and then Tom Cruise starts running, and everyone's like turning into dust, and they're getting shot at. Oh man, so good.
Yeah,
so intense.
And I was pretty like that. That's my honorable mention. Okay. War of the Worlds was my 11.
Okay.
And I felt bad for not putting it in my 10. I honestly did.
I debated this one too a little bit, just because the first like 3/4 of that movie are fantastic. The last little bit's a little weak, and it kind of falls
ended
off.
a little dull.
Yeah. I mean, he just like gives the kids back to the mom, and he's like, "Okay, cool." And then I know there's some people that don't like the way the aliens died, but I love it. I think it's super. There's going to be some spoilers in this episode, but I think the aliens dying because they couldn't build an immunity to the things that humans have built immunity of over millions of years was a really cool concept. I also have to shout out. I think this one made my list just because War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds was so.
Sorry for everybody on the stream. I'm not playing much video games. It's hard for me to read and watch chat and listen to Matt. I'm not a good multitasker. I'm finding out.
We'll get better as we go. But War of the Worlds I had to put on there just because my early childhood fascination with aliens began with our dad when we would drive. Sometimes we go on vacation to California and we drive through the night. And my dad, a lot of times, I was the oldest kid, and the other kids would fall asleep, or Jordan would be in the back playing his Game Boy. But my dad would put on a tape of War of the Worlds, and it was this old British tape that was the dialogue. It was kind of like an audiobook almost.
Oh man, I was definitely playing my Game Boy because I don't remember that.
Oh, he did. Our dad would do it like almost every trip to California. And I remember driving through those really like sparsely populated areas in the desert while I'm listening to this audiobook of aliens attacking Earth and just being so scared but so interested and excited with what was going on. And so shout out to my father. That was definitely, I think, the beginning of my obsession with aliens and alien movies. So that's my number. This is my number 9.
All right.
So what's your number 8?
By the way, Sexy Chicken 808 is AJ.
Oh, AJ, what's up, man?
That's awesome.
Thanks for tuning in, AJ. He's I met him in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
When I was
thinking our cousin, but
no.
What's up, AJ from Hawaii? Or
well,
Matt
I don't even
Hawaii?
know. Last time I hung out with him, we did a double date back in the day, and he was living in Provo, going to school. So I don't know if he's back in Hawaii. Are you back in Hawaii, AJ?
Yeah, didn't say anything.
Maybe. So yeah, okay. What's your number 8?
My number 8 is Prey.
Prey. Oh yeah, okay.
That's a Predator movie, kind of the first of the
sequels?
Predator sequels. Yep. It based in as the first. Sorry, what would that be? Chronologically?
Prequel? Yeah, it's a prequel, right? It predates the Predator movie,
yes.
The original.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was done really well. Plus, I'm a huge fan of the Predators movies. If you can see my shirt on the stream, I'm wearing a Predators shirt. It's pretty dope.
It is cool.
You can't see it very well, but yeah. So that one's mine. I thought it was a pretty bad A concept, and I
haven't seen it.
Oh man,
I'm not a huge Predator fan.
Really?
I liked the first one. I always felt like the Predator didn't really look like an alien. He looked like a guy in a suit, which is what he was. So,
I mean,
hot take. I don't think
mask.
Yeah, and then
he
his
has that,
mouth.
Way cool teeth.
Yeah, he just never. I don't know. He wasn't scary enough for me. Like it just seemed like so far fetched. It couldn't. I think the ones that I get really into are the ones that like just seem like they could happen. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one.
I mean, anything could happen. I mean, the universe expands for forever, and
it's continuing to expand.
Yeah, and so who are you to say like that's not gonna happen? Yeah, the Predators are out there somewhere.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, my number 8 is. I think you might have this one on your list. So far, we don't have any, right? None on the list.
Nope.
So my number 8 is Cloverfield. Cloverfield is my number 8.
Okay.
The filming in Cloverfield is so good. They have, I think it's just like this cool interpretation of classic horror where they literally have a guy with a camera that's shaking. You know, it's kind of got the Blair Witch Project effect. But the scene in Cloverfield where they're in they go in that subway area to escape the monster, the alien.
That was scary.
Oh my gosh. And the
Yeah.
little, like, I guess they're
was
like
scary.
ticks or whatever, like that came off the alien, right? That scene is so intense. Oh man, it's so good. I loved it. I thought the acting was really good. And I this concept, I liked how as it was filming, it would do these flashbacks, like as if the tape was being, like the previous tape that it was recording over, it would show that relationship that the protagonist had with the lady that he was trying to find, right?
Mm-hmm.
So loved it. That is my number 8.
Okay.
Any thoughts on
It didn't make
Cloverfield?
It didn't make it on mine.
Not even an honorable mention, huh?
No.
You've seen it, right?
Yes, I have. And
Okay.
you know what? I saw that one towards the end of my list, and I was like, dang it. I do like that one. But it got a lot of, like, I feel like a lot of people critiqued it. They didn't like the filming.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
And
got that
was
like
what was
motion
hard for me.
sickness.
I actually didn't. It was kind of like hard to watch to me. I
That-
remember.
that
But
makes sense.
I could watch it again, and I bet I'd like it now too.
You know, I wonder with the introduction of so many people having personalized phones now, and us being like accustomed to people having phones and watching videos and stuff online of people shaking with a camera. I wonder if you watched it now, if it would change your perspective a little bit. Like it wouldn't bother you as much.
Probably not.
No, you think it'd still
I
make
used
you
to be
sick?
A lot more. No, I'm sorry. It probably wouldn't mess with me now.
Oh, okay.
I think I used to get more like car sick and motion sickness and stuff as a kid than I do
Okay.
now. So maybe that I could totally see that I could maybe enjoy it more now.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I started looking down. See, it's really hard to play video games.
For those
do
of you
this.
just podcasting, Jordan just died trying to
Yep.
look at his games.
It's so hard.
Game over too.
Oh, you got to give me lives.
Didn't have any lives left.
So my 7 was Arrival.
Okay, now we've
Now
got
we
one
got
on the
one.
same list.
I knew that one.
Yeah,
would be
of
on
course
your
that
list.
one's
That
gonna
is
be on.
so good. I had a lot of notes for this, so kind of bear with me. I just watched it for the first time on Sunday.
You didn't watch it in the theaters when I was like,
Nope.
oh man.
No, I did always want to.
How, me being your brother, did you not watch Arrival?
It's funny.
crazy.
I mentioned
That's
it to
crazy.
Dad,
Yeah.
and he's like, "That'll be Matt's favorite."
Oh, that he thinks that's my number one.
Yeah, he thinks it is.
We'll find out. We'll see how well my dad knows me. It is on my top 10. Of course, it's on my top 10.
It was so good. I had no idea. I really liked that it was like, it really kept you watching. You enjoyed it, but it wasn't like an action-packed movie.
It's
right?
definitely a different take on
And
Alien.
I'm very into action-y movies, right? So I would initially, maybe I wouldn't be so into this, you'd think, but I thought it was really cool that instead of it being like 100% war-driven, like aliens are coming to just invade the world, they did like, no, they're just trying to communicate and give us their language. And it wasn't a sign of war. It was it was like a helpful thing
Yeah, it
for
was
the
a sign of
future, like,
Peace, right? Yeah.
yeah. And hey, learn our language, then we can communicate.
And then they get into
So
like
good.
the fifth dimension and stuff, like what time, what's our concept of time and reality. Oh man,
Yeah.
I just absolutely love that movie. It's definitely on my list. So that's a fantastic.
I'm curious where now because of Dad's comment.
Well, we'll find out soon enough, right? Okay, my number 7 is A Quiet Place.
These guys say that you have to watch Arrival multiple times, though. So
Yeah.
I'll have to get on and watch
Okay,
it
that
more,
was
and I could
probably
see that.
Carson. Carson,
He did say that. That was
yeah.
Carson.
So Carson watched Arrival one time and was ripping on it in front of me because I was going to battle saying that was one of the best movies ever. And
Carson claims it's hooked on phonics with aliens.
yeah. I even have in my room in our studio, I have an Arrival poster with all the
Oh my
different.
gosh,
sounds.
that's what that is.
Yeah, those
Oh.
are that's the language. It's a key for the language. So, and then when we did our little post today on the episode, Um, what?
I forgot my hat.
That's okay. So yeah, Rival's good. So okay, I am next. Oh no, I just did it, right? A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place is my number 7. This movie is one of the first times I've ever sat in a theater. I've literally sat in a theater and I think there's a way to get a key in that room, right? Or on Super Mario World, we're trying to get a secret area on that. That's what I was trying to do. Okay.
I don't.
So this is the first time I was ever in the theaters, and I was too afraid to eat my popcorn. Usually you just, not because it was so intense, but because it was so quiet. Like the last time I've been, when you're in a movie and things are loud, that's when you're kind of eating popcorn. Everything's always kind of loud, so you can't tell. But that theater was just so quiet. And it was so intense. And I loved how John Krasinski, we'll just call him Jim, I love how he kind of brought back in some like old classic techniques of scaring tactics, where a lot of the movie wasn't even about the aliens. It was about the intensity in the scenes where it was so quiet. You if you heard any sound, it would scare you. You were literally scared of sound. And I thought that was so impressive.
I thought it was cool.
Did it make your list?
It definitely did my honorable mentions. Yeah.
So not your top 10.
My
Wow,
list,
okay.
But I didn't get to see it in theaters. I saw it way after it came out. And
it was.
I watch a lot of movies by myself.
Okay.
So I don't know. Sometimes things just aren't as intense and as good.
I would also say like that was one of the best movies to experience in the theaters.
I bet that was.
It was so good. And
I loved it.
My wife went with me. Bria went with me, and she is not one for scary movies. I always have to watch the scary movies on my own because she just gets so scared. But I was like, it's not going to be that bad. It's more intense. And she was able to make it through enough that she watched part 2, which is also a great movie.
I didn't see part 2.
It's really good. Highly recommend it. But she was freaking out when we left. She was so scared. She's like,
"What's behind me?"
Yeah, like she's like every sound is freaking me out. So I love that one. I thought it was so good. Emily Blunt, another. So we got Tom Cruise on there twice. Emily Blunt on there twice. Between the two of our lists. So yeah, yeah, a ridiculously good movie. So
agreed.
All right.
Again, it should have been in a top 10, but you can't fit them all.
Yeah.
So,
okay, what's your next? What are we on then? So your number 6? Did you do your number 7? What was your 7 again?
It was Arrival.
Okay, cool. Number 6.
My number 6 was, and this I feel like is going to be pretty controversial to most.
Okay.
Maybe The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Okay.
And that
just came out.
Yeah.
On Amazon, right?
It's funny because I mixed those two up, Tomorrow War and Edge of Tomorrow, of course. Yeah. But I really liked it, mainly, and I keep going back to what the aliens look like. Those were some creepy but cool aliens.
Yes.
In my opinion. Those are by far my favorite looking aliens.
Really?
Like I love the Predator aliens, and
That's the
I
one
also love
the
the aliens. I think the aliens looks cooler than the Predator.
Okay.
But that one was for sure top looking alien. I was like, those are scary, freaking cool, and intense aliens.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So Tomorrow War did not make my list. Sorry.
And I kind of figured it would. It probably wouldn't for most. I know it had a lot of plot holes.
Had a lot of plot holes.
People hated that.
I also think one thing that I struggled with in that was I was trying to get over that key. One of the things that I struggled with in that movie was like the first half of it was really good, and the movie just went on like maybe an hour too long. Maybe not even an hour. Just like it went on like 40 minutes too long. They should have just ended. They ended up like going and finding the buried thing at the end. I'm trying to even remember the plot. I like Chris Pratt, but Didn't make my list.
I talked about it on our last podcast. Like, if I can just sit down and just enjoy watching the movie, it can go everywhere for me. I'm just
definitely
like,
worth a watch. It's entertaining.
I love this. Yeah, it was entertaining, and that's what makes my lists a lot of the time.
Just fun.
Just
Action-packed.
action packed, enjoyable, good actors.
Okay, so my number 6, a little bit older movie. It's Contact, starring Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey, or early Matthew McConaughey.
Honorable mention.
This movie is, again, another alien movie. I like the ones where they make contact, where you see the beginning stages of the contact, rather than like Edge of Tomorrow, The Tomorrow Wars. It's already been, we're in a futuristic society where aliens are present, right? And we're fighting a war. I really like alien movies where we're discovering the aliens as they appear on the movie, right? You're kind of figuring out, okay, are these aliens good? Are they bad? How would we communicate with the aliens? I love that. And Contact does a really good job. There's also one of my favorite scenes is in the movie, they discover Jodie Foster's character is looking out into space and listening, and she ends up finding a weird thumping pulse sound. And the way they do the sound design in that is just so good. They do this sound design where there's this thumping sound, and she unplugs the monitor so everyone can hear on the speaker. She brings in a loudspeaker, and it's got this like weird thumping with like this chain sound. And then they find out that there's an image behind encoded on the waveform.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first ever broadcast that humans ever did of Hitler's speech, and it's so intense as they pull out of that pixelation, and they're like, "Oh no, is this like a war thing? Is this something with the Nazis where like coming back to life?" It was just really cool. That was my favorite scene, and then I like the connection between her finding her father through this species and this idea of like what is the afterlife. So, really liked that. Really enjoyed it.
So good for sure. I only watched it once. I bet I could get more out of it watching it multiple times. That one didn't have enough alien in it for me.
It doesn't have a lot. Yeah, you're right. That's
like
fair.
Hardly any. Like, I think right at the end.
You actually technically don't even see the aliens, really.
I may be mixing another one up with it, but doesn't she find them right at the end?
Yeah, kind of through her father at the end.
That's right. Yeah.
And he takes the form, and it's a deep one. It's a deep movie. It's really not. It's difficult to even classify it as an alien movie. It is, but it's got a lot of depth to it, a lot of existentialism in it, and this idea of what is beyond us after death. And I love movies like that.
That was one thing I kind of contemplating with adding it, is I was kind of worried about it not being really an alien movie.
Yeah,
I did think like that, but it came up as one when I was searching it and stuff. So,
all right, let's we got to move this list along. So what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Starship Troopers.
Oh my gosh!
You know what? I knew you were gonna do that.
It's a good,
I thought it was so cool, and this is what got me into like action-packed alien movies.
Okay.
And
are they aliens or are they just bugs?
They're bugs.
No, they're aliens.
Alien bugs.
They're aliens. I just messing with you.
I watched it as a kid, and of course that's how I pretended as a kid after that. Like, oh, you were those bad A Marines, and you're gonna go and fight bugs.
It's very satire. When you get older and you watch it, like back when we watched it, we're like, yeah, this is a cool movie where they just beat up alien bugs.
When you're imagining with your friends what you're doing, you're like, and then I jump on his back and I shove a grenade down his back, or you like dig up his back or shoot his back out,
Yeah.
But oh man, I loved it, and it's nostalgic kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
I figured probably not too many would put that up there.
I think that works. Too. That was cool. It's a fun one. All right, so number 5. This is probably a hot take. I think this might be most people's. We'll get to the chat at the end, but number 5, Aliens, plural, aliens.
Aliens is your 5?
Number 5.
Okay.
I love that movie. It's better than Alien. Alien didn't even crack my top 10. I like Alien. I know everybody considers it just this masterpiece, but Aliens is so much cooler.
Alien didn't crack my top 10 either, but
Aliens did. Yeah. So love that one. I don't think we need to go too much into how that is an awesome movie. If you haven't seen Aliens, go watch Aliens. So
I just Ripley.
Yeah.
We always joked about it at my previous job.
And the kid's name being Newt. I always wanted to name my pet Newt.
The one guy like
calm down, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
What's up with calm down.
The kid's not even as freaked out as you are. Why don't you put her in charge then, man?
Oh, that's so good. So that movie's awesome. So that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
Real quick, we keep playing this level over and over again because we suck, one, and we need to get a feather to accomplish what we want to be able to move forward in this game right now.
Yeah, we're in the first fly level, and we want to get the key, and although we could get it by going on the underground level and getting the blocks, we're trying to just fly up there at the end, but we always die at the end instead of being able to get the feather. Plus, you should go get some more lives anyway. So, Jordan's almost dead. If he dies on this one, it's game over.
So
okay.
We're on...
You're number 4.
On 4. My number 4 is Men in Black 1.
Oh, yeah, that made my list.
So good. I can rewatch it a million times.
Yeah. Oh, so rewatchable. It never
gets old.
And there's something about Will Smith in that movie that makes him like the coolest dude ever.
Oh, for sure. I love Will Smith.
Back then when he used to smack aliens instead of smacking Chris Rock.
well, controversy.
Welcome to Earth, Chris Rock.
He's an alien, that's why.
Oh, it all makes sense now.
It's cool now.
Chris Rock's a funny alien. Okay, cool. I love that one. I love Men in Black. So rewatchable, so good, so clever.
I like that one made higher on your list than it did on mine.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Awesome.
So,
I love that. Because I had a hard time picking its place there.
Yeah, it's a tough one to put.
It should have.
It's also kind of like a comedy mixed in, so yeah. My number 4 is Signs. M. Night Shyamalan. Love Signs.
So,
okay, again, I know the ending is stupid. I know it's dumb. I know that the aliens shouldn't come to a planet when it's like 80% water if they die from getting hit by water. I get it. But up until that point, up until that point, the scenes that they had were so intense. When the aliens caught in the closet and you can see his shadow pacing back and forth, and then Mel Gibson pretends to be a police officer, right? He's like, we're the police. We know you're in there. And he's still in denial that they're aliens. And the shadow stops moving. And it gets quiet. Because the alien is like, oh, crap. He hears me. Like, right? The alien's like aware of his presence. And, it's so, so good. Also, the scene where he looks out, he's tucking his child into bed. And he looks out the window. And an alien's on the roof. Oh my gosh. That movie gave me nightmares when I was a kid watching it. So
want to know why I haven't said much during that?
Number 3?
No.
Oh, well, we'll find out what it is.
I have never seen Signs. I know.
What?
I know. It hurts. It hurts. I told Adam that the other night, and he's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I get the same reaction from every person I say that to. And for some reason, I've just never watched it. I've heard it's so good. I want to watch it. It's just never come about.
Oh, gotta watch it.
I know. I need to. I'm disappointed in myself.
All right, what's your number 3?
Let
me try and get up while you're doing this.
Yeah, we're right at the end of the level. So, my number 3 is Close Encounters.
Of the Third Kind?
Yep.
Okay. Classic.
This is what I remember to be the first Alien movie I ever watched.
First Alien movie you ever watched?
Maybe it could have been E.T.
Yeah, this one was definitely...
I remember my dad showing me it. Man, it freaked me out, but I loved it. Such a good movie all the way around.
The music that they used to communicate.
And that scene that they... apparently, and I don't know if if this is a fact or not, but the scene where they're abducting her kid
Yeah,
out of the
house, right?
house. Apparently that was she was just put into the room with the kid, and she had no idea what was going to happen.
I've heard that rumor too.
And then they just started, making the stove turn on and the door shutters shake or whatever was going on in there. And it was like real reaction for her. 'Cause it was
whoever that
terrifying for her,
actress
she
is
said.
amazing in that. That's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, love it. It did make my top 10. We'll find out where. Number 3. So now we are into the final movies, right? Number 3, Men in Black for me. We already talked about how awesome it was, so I'll leave it at that. Men in Black, classic. I'll watch that movie anytime it's on. It's just a good movie to watch when you're just chilling on a Saturday night. Love it.
Anytime.
All right, what's your number 2?
Carson's mad that I have not seen Signs real quick.
Okay.
And my dad's number 1 is Close Encounters. So just
that makes sense why it's making our list and very high up on our list. So.
And Carson says the third Men in Black is the best.
Oh gosh,
IMO.
hot take there.
What's
hot
IMO? In my opinion.
In my opinion,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
We got there.
Okay, there it is.
Third is. I actually thought the third was pretty good. It wasn't. It was definitely not the best of the 3. It was the worst, Carson. So your opinion's wrong. And you're not on the podcast today. Carson is coming on the podcast. We have him scheduled, so you will all be able to hear from him shortly. In July, I think we have him scheduled. But he's wrong. He's absolutely wrong when it comes to Men in Black 3 being the best. So you can fight us on the podcast or tomorrow at work. So, okay, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Aliens.
Good spot.
So good. Yeah, we talked about it. I love those aliens. I think they're so cool.
They're fantastic. The whole movie's so good. We kind of talked about that one already, but yeah,
so
good.
Cool.
Okay, my number 2, and this will be a quick one too as well, because my number 2 is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Awesome. Well, those are close. I'm kind of surprised we didn't have any hit the same spot. Maybe.
Yeah.
But our lists are different.
No, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Just like you, it was one of the earliest movies I watched. And our dad, obviously he's on the chat right now and just said that it's his number 1. Obviously, it made an impression on us because it's my number 2 and your number 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my dad's number 1, and he said the story about the abduction scene is true.
Oh, cool.
So it's fact now.
Yeah, you heard it here first, or here 8th. But yeah, I love that movie. The music, I love how they use music to communicate as like a neutral language for everybody. So beautiful. My wife hates that movie.
Oh, really?
I showed it to her. She's a therapist. And the fact that he just bails on his family at the end to go be on the alien thing, she's like, what? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Are you kidding me right now? That's absolutely ridiculous. He just leaves his family behind.
I like how it's similar to like Arrival, where they kind of are trying to communicate with them more rather than it just being like, oh, no, kill them. They're killing
just like
us.
Contact, right? There's like you have the sane person who's trying to contact. But even then, it was like almost the government was also big on let's make contact with them rather than let's destroy them. So love that one. Okay, what's your number 1, Jordan? Or should I say my number 1 because I'll say my number 1 because everybody knows what it is at this point, and then we'll do yours as the number 1.
Yeah,
so obviously, I have a poster in my room. My father already guessed it. Arrival is my number 1, and not only is Arrival, you should get that, Jordan.
I'm going to.
Not only is Arrival my number 1 alien movie, Arrival is straight up my number 1. It might be my favorite movie ever of all time. It is brilliant. I love the 5th dimensions, the concept of time and how it's not relative. I love the idea of thinking through communication with a civilization that you don't have any access to their language. You don't have any type of key. Amy Adams is so good in that movie. Mm-hmm. She's just so impressive. The whole time in the movie, you're kind of thinking that she's having these flashbacks when you later find out that they're and spoilers, sorry, but you later find out that they're flash forwards, right? There's this like linear.
That tripped me out, and I love movies that do that.
Yeah, it's not time's not linear, right? It's and neither is their language, which they kind of emphasized with the symbols, right? But
sorry, everybody.
Jordan
That's
just
my
died
reaction
again.
to like almost
to Arrival. No, you're like, oh, so yeah, Arrival, number 1. Anyone that knows me could have guessed it, but I will go to bat for that movie anytime. It's amazing. So, okay, Jordan, your number 1 movie.
Oh, okay. Well, I just died.
We're not going to get past any levels today because we're so excited about this.
Yeah, this is.
We even got further along last time. It just didn't save.
Yeah, right. My top is. Again, I think I'd get crap for this.
Your number 1.
Aliens vs Predator, AVP.
Okay. That's your number 1.
Yeah, I loved it, man. Growing up, it's like Men in Black. I could watch it all the time, and it's because I like both those aliens a lot. So seeing them fight was way cool to me.
Okay.
See, look at his. If you guys could see his judgment little freaking face here, you'd be like, "What the heck?"
I mean, okay.
But
here's
you know what? Judge me all you want. These are my top 10, and they're the top 10 of all time, regardless. But these,
okay,
I like it.
I'm gonna blow your mind, and it's gonna show everybody how judgmental I am. I've never seen it.
Wow.
But I've seen Predator.
Gave you that judgmental
and I've
look
seen
there, and you haven't seen it.
And I've seen like all the Alien movies. Like, well, almost all the Alien movies.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen most of the Alien movies. There's a lot, but I've seen the main ones.
Okay.
So,
well,
that is your number 1. That is, you know what? You're right. It's not fair to me. I need to see it first. I can't imagine it even making my top 10, though.
I have to say, not many people would do that. And to be honest, like, there are so many good movies out there. I threw that out because I think it's the one I've watched the most, other than Men in Black. Because I like it. I think it's cool. I really like their fighting. I like all the like cool equipment that the Predators have, and then the aliens.
The heat, like the heat stuff,
cool.
Right? They have like the heat sensors or whatever.
Yeah, they have that. But like,
is that what it is?
Like they have a net. It's like a restricting net that they shoot out, and it grabs lands on the alien,
right?
And, like, tightens and. Yeah, that stuff's so cool. I actually play D&D with some friends, and we work that into my character in D&D. I'm like trying to build that net in the D&D game.
That's cool.
So
that's so nerdy.
Yeah, it is. But I love it.
Awesome.
We need to get our campaign continuing a bit more. But yeah,
cool. I like it. Okay, so
Thanks.
before we end, let's just go over the list real quick. Let's go over yours. 10 to 1 real quick. Just read them off real fast, and I'll read my 10 to 1s, and then we'll do a couple of other things, and then end the podcast.
Okay, actually, real quick, I'd like to place something even higher up on the list than any other Alien movie.
Oh, what is it?
Space Jam. Space Jam. It's so good.
Have you rewatched it recently?
A million times. I've seen it so many. In fact, I like Space Jam so much that I have a picture of Bugs Bunny kissing Michael Jordan that I hang directly above my bed.
You're never going to get a date alone after this episode. You're like, my character in D&D, he's based off of Predator and Space Jam. That's awesome. I love that movie. Hey, dude, I loved that movie when I was,
so good.
10. But
I think most of this was we probably both had the mindset, obviously, that it was more realistic, so I didn't put it on my top 10. But it's so good. Everybody loves Space Jam, not the new one. The
LeBron James one. I haven't seen it.
And my kids, just to throw out, their favorite is Planet 51. I haven't personally seen it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, read through your top 10. I'll read through mine, and then we'll get to the poll, and then I just have a couple honorable mentions. And stuff.
I'm going to read through my top 12.
Okay. Top 12.
My 12th was Evolution.
Oh,
remember that
yeah.
one? Dude.
These are like callbacks to our youth where we were obsessed with that movie.
That was so funny.
Evolution.
That was a funny alien.
I bet if we watched that again, that would be trash.
It probably.
It was funny though at the time.
So 12 was Evolution, 11 was War of the Worlds, and then my 10th. Am I just reading?
Yeah, just read straight through them. 10, 9, 8.
10th is Edge of Tomorrow. Life is 9. Prey. Arrival. The Tomorrow War. Starship Troopers. Men in Black. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Aliens. And then AVP.
So the only ones that we had on the same list together, there's 4, right? Arrival, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Men in Black, and Aliens.
Yep.
Okay, so here are my top 10. Number 10, Dark Skies. Number 9, War of the Worlds. Number 8, Cloverfield. 7, A Quiet Place. 6, Contact. 5, Aliens. 4, Signs. 3, Men in Black. 2, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And number 1, Arrival. So the poll, we put up a poll. Thank you guys for voting. We had over 33 votes for the poll.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for doing that.
Awesome support.
Some
I think
people
it's cool
added
to see what movies.
One of my favorite ads, Ashley added on the poll. She meant to put Mars Attacks.
Yeah,
But she did
or heard of it.
Matt's Attack.
Matt's Attacks.
Obviously it's a typo, but I was like, yeah, that movie's out. It's got Jack Nicholson. It's old. It's like a late 90s, early 2000s kind of comedy.
Carson's mad that we didn't talk about The Fourth Kind in our list.
I didn't make my list, Carson, but we're going to talk about The Fourth Kind in just a sec. Okay, so here are the movies that were on the poll, and we'll let you know the winner was Nope, War of the Worlds, Predator, Arrival, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Aliens, Alien vs. Predator, Edge of Tomorrow, Cloverfield, Signs, E.T., Independence Day, Contact, Men in Black, Fire in the Sky, District 9, Paul, Prey, The Tomorrow World, and Matt's Attacks.
Paul was hilarious.
Yeah, Paul was really funny.
Yeah.
So the winner of the poll, you guys voted, was Aliens.
Awesome. Which is why I lean towards Aliens being the top sold. Not because I saw that, but I just know so many people.
I think it's also just like grown as like a cult classic. I don't know how big it was at the time, but it's just grown. After that, so Aliens was number 1, Predator was number 2.
Dope.
And then
those 2 aliens that are like my favorite.
You have a couple more ties for third. So there's a tie for third. Contact and Men in Black was a tie for third. Tie for fourth was Arrival, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Alien vs. Predator, Edge of Tomorrow, Cloverfield, and Signs. Prey, The Tomorrow War, Mars Attacks, and War of the Worlds only got 1 vote. And then there's no votes for Nope, Alien, surprisingly, E.T., which is the highest grossing, Independence Day had votes. District 9, cool movie, Paul, and that was it. So, cool. Okay,
Dylan,
I wanted to do... Oh, go ahead.
Dylan just said Starship Troopers all day,
Okay.
every day.
That fits Dylan.
Dylan, you're awesome, man. We're on the same level, my
That
friend.
makes sense. It makes sense why you guys are best friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to do 2 lists. We'll make this episode a little longer, anyways. It's worth it, right?
We started kind of a little bit late.
Started
Thanks for
a little
bearing
late.
with us while we did that too.
Okay, so I have my need to watch list and movies that I can't believe I didn't watch and wish I would have. Annihilation. Have you heard of Annihilation?
I haven't.
Okay. Google the trailer. It looks incredible. It's more recent. It's got... Oh, now my mind's blanking on her name. She's the princess in the prequels of Star Wars. What's her name?
Dylan.
Gosh.
We need you.
Oh, man.
Say it again. What's the show?
Annihilation. Why can't I think of her name? My mind's blanking. You can look it up. Well, looking up. I want to see that one way bad. I bet that would make my top 10 just from the trailer. It looks like it would make the top 10 anyway.
It's
So,
got
Natalie Portman. I didn't even need you. Sorry, Natalie Portman.
yeah,
I
why
can't
didn't we
believe I
say
didn't think.
that?
That's what I was saying. I was
That's-
an idiot.
I'm
Natalie
sorry,
Portman.
everybody. That
Annihilation.
was
I really
awful.
want to watch that. Nope.
Oh, thanks, Carson said Natalie Portman. As
Oh, right,
well.
is right as it happened. Thanks, Carson. Nope. I really want to see it. Didn't see it. You got to see it.
I did. I watched it on Saturday. I watched like 10 movies this last week.
What would you give Nope out of 10?
I thought it was good. Out of 10. The ending kind of killed it for me.
Don't give it away. No spoilers, because I care. Although we spoiled all these other movies for anyone that hasn't seen.
Maybe like a 5, somewhere in the
wow,
middle.
that low, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was good.
I've heard people even love that movie, or they are just kind of what you said, like, it was kind
I
of
liked
complicated.
it. I liked it. I maybe a 6. I'll go a little bit higher than like middle point, but it was good, but it wasn't. It was hard to follow.
Kind of like Christopher Nolan made an Alien movie. That's what I've heard.
I don't know.
Interstellar. Just complicated.
I got kids, so sometimes the movies I watch I don't get to follow the best. But it was kind of tough to follow with my kids, which makes it hard for me. But I thought the aliens were pretty cool looking, or a pretty cool idea. Yeah, I can't give it away. I can't talk
it's
much
okay.
more about it.
So I really want to watch Nope and Fire in the Sky, which is an old like 80s, late 90s movie based on a true, in quotations, stories of an abduction. So that's the other one I need to watch. So what's on your need to watch list?
Obviously Signs. I'm sorry, everybody.
S. Yes, that's true. You need to watch it.
Yes. Oh, I thought you said S. I'm like, did I just say sign?
No. I love that movie Sign. Stop.
I want to say the old War of the Worlds.
I've seen it. You can see the spaceships on strings.
Yeah, you can. Well, it's kind of more of a mentionable, not like one I need to watch. I just wanted to say gave a good base for the newer one with Tom Cruise. And that was amazing. So obviously, I want to like throw it in as a good mentionable.
Yeah, the backstory of War of the Worlds is pretty cool too. You can look that up online. How it came to be the fake radio broadcast. It was really cool. Look it up.
Look it up. Then another one is Extinction. I really, really liked Extinction.
Wait, these are need to watches.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at mentionables. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Honorable mentions. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right.
Need to watch Signs, and one other one that you mentioned towards the beginning that I haven't seen.
Dark Skies,
and The Fourth Kind.
Okay, so that's what I want to get in next. Sleeper picks. So if you do fantasy football, sleepers are the picks that people don't think about. They end up being awesome for your fantasy league. So movies that no one thinks about that are awesome for your fantasy league. So I have 2. The Fourth Kind. Carson, you're right. This movie scared the living crap out of me. I won't give too much away because people should read it or watch it. It's really good. But basically, they kind of do almost like a documentary style thing, and they have real footage of some events that had happened. I found out that a lot of those are actually fake too. They faked them, but they don't tell you that when you're watching it. And then they have like actors portraying it like half and half through the screen. And man, I was like, oh my gosh, how is this not all over the news? Aliens are real. Look, this happened. Like this is real scary horror style movie. Really good. That was, if I could have made my list to 11, this one goes to 11, it would be Fourth Kind. So Carson, there's your mention, Fourth Kind. The other sleeper pick, Lilo and Stitch. It would have been number 12.
What?
It was
Over
almost
Space Jam?
it was almost on my top 10. I really had a hard time, but I finally had to convince myself like, okay, Lilo and Stitch isn't really in the theme of this podcast, right? Lilo and Stitch isn't necessarily in the vein of what we're trying to talk about. But love that movie. It's a sleeper pick. It's a fantastic movie. It's also got lots of calls to Hawaii. I lived in Hawaii for 2 years and love Hawaii. So yeah, that's my sleepers. So what are your sleeper picks?
I don't know. I didn't
do any sleepers.
I didn't do a sleeper. Nope. I'm sorry.
All right, it's okay.
But-
Okay,
I like yours, so I second that.
I second those sleeper picks. Okay, chat, you can drop those sleeper picks in there if you want.
Yeah.
okay,
Dad
so
said that the original War of the Worlds freaked him out as a kid.
Yeah, that one freaked me out because my dad let me watch it when I was like 6, and it scared me.
Connor just said.
Garner or Carson?
Excuse me. Sorry. I was laughing. So
Okay,
Carson just
Carsonian,
said,
what'd you say?
Ohana means no one gets left out of the top 10, Matt. He's not wrong, dude.
Yeah, it was on the top 10. It literally was on the top 10. And not only was it on the top 10, it was high on the top 10. It was like number 5. But I had to reevaluate what I thought of an alien movie. So, okay, so I want to close out by just going over some Rotten Tomatoes scores. Let's see what the world's top rankings, top 10 would be based on Rotten Tomato scores. So, number 1 would be E.T. It had a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Blows my mind. Good movie, but not 99. It's crazy. Number 2, it's tied, actually. Number 2 is tied for Alien, and Aliens have a 98. Number 3, A Quiet Place with 96. Number 4, Close Encounters of the Third Kind with a 94%. Actually, number 4 is tied. Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Arrival both have 94. Number 5 is Prey. Hey, you got that? Okay,
about, yeah.
Prey is number 5. Edge of Tomorrow is number 6. It's also tied with Men in Black. So Edge of Tomorrow and Men in Black are number 6. District 9 is number 7.
That's a mentionable.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of F-bombs, so don't watch it with your kids.
Or do. It's your choice.
Annihilation. yeah, we can't tell you how to live. Annihilation is number 8 with 88%. I really want to watch that one. Nope is number 9 with 83. And number 10 is Predator. So according to Rotten Tomatoes, those are your top 10. Only 2 below that is Cloverfield and Lilo and Stitch. So, and the lowest rated Rotten Tomatoes movie, this is going to make Carson mad, and myself, because it deserves more, is The Fourth Kind, 18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You see that? Maybe it's
also,
not a top
wait,
10, Carson.
Guess what the second lowest is, my friend? Your number 1, Alien versus Predator.
I knew it.
22%.
I knew it, but you know what? I don't care. That means nothing. This is the
new
new top 10. This is the new ratings.
New top 10.
Mine.
All right, guys. We went a little longer than when we expected. Thanks for bearing with us when we had some audio issues at the start. We just got rolling a little late. So there's your top 10 movies. We are next week we have a very special guest. Our first guest coming on. I don't want to give out too much information about our guest. I want it to be a bit of a surprise, but I'll let you know this. His last name is Wayne.
I don't know if he wants people to know that. So.
Well,
sorry.
Last name is Wayne. He's a billionaire.
Had like 6 shout outs on our.
He's a billionaire. He wears black a lot. Rides around in a mobile. We'll find out. So, but next week we have a guest on, our first guest. So it's going to be a good time. So, anything else you'd like to say about alien movies?
No, I've kind of said it all.
Okay.
That was really good, man. I really liked picking all those, but I really hated eliminating them. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, I want to throw in one just to see your opinion. The Fifth Element.
I've never seen it.
What?
Never seen it.
Oh,
I know.
man.
Bruce Willis, right?
I'm actually surprised you didn't bring up Rotten Tomatoes on that because I bet it got such a low score.
I should have checked that out. It probably did.
Yeah.
Fifth Element.
There's so much controversy on that. You know what's funny though is this is why I'm bad at this stuff because I watched it. I enjoyed it. There was tons of stuff I didn't like. It was just like the main aliens in it from the beginning and the end, I thought were kind of weird.
It's a 71, so people didn't destroy it. Probably because there's a big there's a big cult following for that one.
Yeah, I like I said, I enjoyed the movie. It was just there was like these few things in it that I'm like, come on, you could have done better with that, like those aliens, and then the one dude from Rush Hour, he was one of the people in it, and he was so annoying.
Yeah, Chris Tucker.
I think it was him.
Yeah, Chris Tucker. I like Chris Tucker, but I could imagine him being annoying in an alien movie.
Way annoying in it, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, see your opinion, but you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
We need a better
opinion on my must-watch list. Yeah. Okay. Cool. The last thing I'll say is just write in to us if you want. If you have comments or criticism, or you want to be on the podcast, whatever, write into us. We did terrible this time on the game. At least last time we beat a few levels. We were just so into the alien stuff I couldn't focus on the game.
I don't think we beat one level, I think, and it was one we had already beaten.
We will have a new game next week. Our guests typically get to pick, unless we're forcing them to play a game or a topic that we want.
It's a secret.
Well, I don't know what the game's going to be, because we've kind of gone back and forth, but we'll have a new game next week and a new topic next week. So yeah, look forward to that. And thank you guys. Write in Super Davis, Davies bros @gmail.com. And if we don't have anything else on the chat that you want to mention,
no, I did my best to try to follow it. Sorry if we didn't mention stuff that you've maybe talked about in it, but I love that you guys stuck around and chatted on the whole thing.
There's a ton of stuff going on.
So
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's so cool to see this like kind of come alive for us. So
yeah,
we appreciate the following and the inputs. You guys are all good people.
Yeah, you guys rock. So, all right. Well, thank you all. We'll see you next week for episode 4 with Mr. Wayne of Wayne's World. Or maybe Bruce Wayne.
Party time. Excellent.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See ya.